Emily, you're up.
Okay. Can I just start whenever?
You can start whenever, yes. And
okay. All right. Hi, my name is Emily Miksch, and my big idea isn't a product, but rather a program that should be added to UNK. A recent study done by Balanced Living stated that 69% of first-year college students develop severe homesickness. A contributor to this cause is not having home-cooked meals. My program, Around the Table, will solve this problem. The program will consist of 1 or 2 college students going out into the community to eat a home-cooked meal with the family every week for a semester. The college student will get a home-cooked meal to help with their homesickness, gain a resource in their life, and practice building relationships in their community. Now, not only will the student benefit from this, but also the family. The family's little ones around the table will have that role model that they can look up to. They can hear about what's going on in campus and what they can do to get involved. And most importantly, they practice eating together as a family. Another recent study came out by Eckrich and found that 40% of American families only eat together 3 times a week or less. My program, again, will solve this problem. The student that eats with them will help encourage them to eat together on their own. Now, there's also a third party in this that also benefits, and that's the community. Because when these students go out into the community and practice building these relationships, they're more likely to stay in that community after they graduate college. If I receive $1,000 for this idea, I would use it to aid any families that want to participate in this program, but might not have the extra cash to feed another mouth. I was inspired to start this program by a quote on my kitchen wall at home, and I hope it inspires you to support me too. It says, "The fondest memories are made when gathered around the table." Thank you.
Okay, great. So now we are going to open it up. Emily, you're going to have questions from the judges.
Hi, Emily, it's Tanya. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Hi, Emily. I'm just curious, how do you envision turning this idea into a profitable business?
Right. So if I win $1,000, it would probably be the first semester would just be getting people to join. But then after that, there would be a fee of $20 for every student who wants to participate.
And the student would pay the fee, not the hosting family?
Correct. The student would pay a fee of $20.
One-time fee?
Yes, just for the semester. And then every semester they would like to do it is another $20.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Emily, it's Tanya. What's your plans for marketing this business and jump-starting it, announcing it, and so forth, getting it out into the community?
Yeah, so firsthand is just be talking about it to friends, teammates, people like that around campus, and spreading the word that way. But then also through my email, I can connect to anyone basically on campus. So I can send out emails involving that and just flyers. But I think the most important thing is just word of mouth and getting friends to also spread the word and like, hey, I'm gonna do this program, why don't you come along with me? Since there's 1 to 2 students that can go with a family.
Emily, I have a question in terms of pricing. How did you come up with $20?
Yeah, so I don't want it to be something super expensive because it's supposed to benefit everyone. And, you know, you can just swipe your card at the cafeteria basically for free. So I wanted it to be something lower, but also not like $10 cheap because there's 16 weeks in a semester. And, you know, you don't want it to be super expensive. So I figured $20 is about the right amount that I would pay. And I talked to some other people and they said they would pay $20 for home cooked meals.
Okay, we have time for one more question here.
I'll take it if no one else will. Emily, I'm curious, do you have any kind of a team that would help you either with the promotion or the organizing if this were to become a business?
Yeah, so I'm actually on the swim team, and something about swimmers, we burn a lot of calories, so we love to eat. So I think almost everyone on the swim team would partake in this program, just because, you know, we want to eat, we want to go out there, we're not afraid to talk and build our relationships in the community. So I think they would probably be my primary source of spreading it, and then throughout like their roommates and their friends, we could expand into something bigger.
Okay, contestant is Baden. You're up.
I would like to introduce to you my hero, Albert Einstein. Many of you know Albert Einstein as the super genius with all of his advancements in science, but many people don't know that Albert Einstein is dyslexic. Hello, my name is Baden Copsey, and I have struggled with dyslexia my whole life. Dyslexia is more than just a reading disability. It is a totally different way of processing and learning information. And although schools provide accommodations for people like me, it is not enough. Even today, 30% of dyslexic students in high school will drop out, and 66% of college dyslexic students will drop out as well. That is 2/3 of dyslexic students. Schools have kids read the concepts in books, and then they apply the knowledge to perform a task. Dyslexic people learn by performing a task and then using three-dimensional reasoning to understand how things work. The problem is not the student's inability to read. The problem is the structure of the school system and how it approaches learning. I want to build and create a school system that models the brain and how the dyslexic mind works. Our classes would introduce learning in an exciting and impactful way. I believe that if we are able to nurture people's inborn ability to be curious, we will create lifelong learners and people who are passionate of their pursuits. Albert Einstein wrote, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll grow up its whole life believing that it is stupid." Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Baden. So judges, you now have 3 minutes to ask questions.
I'll go first. Can you talk more about the methodology and what you would use to administer your idea?
Yeah, so the methodology actually kind of comes from Switzerland, which if you don't know, Switzerland is like the country that leads in education. And so they approach learning kind of in this method. And it's like the best way that I can describe it is like, it's the difference between like your coach drawing up a play and expecting you to perform it, and your coach kind of walking you through and while with the court and all that stuff. So,
okay. Thank you.
Curious if you have done any research around competition for your idea. And what I mean by that is like Montessori school systems or other alternative types of education that already exist in our country.
Say that again. You kind of broke it a little bit.
Sorry, just curious what research you've done around competition for your idea. So not the mainstream school you're referring to, but there are some alternative types of education already. Have you looked into your competition at all, and how will you address that?
Yes, I've looked into competition some, but starting a school is definitely not an easy feat. It is a lot of finance, and so at the point I'm at now, I haven't given that a whole lot of thought. I'm kind of now just trying to develop and understand how the mind learns better in certain circumstances to kind of build the programs and the learning structure.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll ask one more. How do you plan to scale this, Baden? Like, how would you grow this? Where would you start? One school, one community? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I would probably go to a more populated area. I guess by scaling, I would mainly like advertise online and stuff like that, because that is where it is going now. So I guess that's more or less how I do it. So.
Any last minute questions? Okay.
So to add to that though, before my time runs out, I would like to start with one school and then eventually like franchise it across America, so people aren't limited to the region that they're in. So.
All right, like a true entrepreneur, taking advantage of every minute. So, oh, our next contestant is Austin.
All right, so we're all struggling a little bit this year. People are feeling isolated and businesses are facing hardship. One industry that is suffering in particular is that of museums. In many places across Nebraska, people are unable to visit museums. My name is Austin Truex, and my big idea is the solution to this historic challenge. If people can't go to museums, then we need to bring the museums to the people. This will happen through Minute at the Museum. Minute at the Museum is an innovative initiative that I'm launching, which will consist of a 60-second spotlight featuring a historically significant artifact, story, individual, or location from across Nebraska. The segment will be broadcasted via News Channel Nebraska, a company that broadcasts across the entire state. Minute at the Museum will bring interesting, fun, entertaining, and enjoyable stories from Nebraska's museums directly into viewers' living rooms. This will bring much needed publicity to museums and likely result in additional donations, volunteers, and admission where possible. Furthermore, the segments will bring a positive light into the dreary recent news cycle, while also building a positive image for the media broadcaster. Minute at the Museum creatively uses technology to strengthen and connect communities in this difficult time. The Big Idea prize money would help to cover production, travel, and miscellaneous expenses for the project. Family-friendly and intriguing, the Nebraskan stories will engage and amuse youth and adults alike. For example, did you know that a ventriloquist dummy from California once legally owned a Nebraskan jail? These segments will appeal to the broad public, and more specifically, students and teachers who are learning remotely, as well as families who are seeking scholastic programming. The eventual goal is to make the Minute at the Museum clips available online for educational and promotional use. Ultimately, Minute at the Museum provides an excellent avenue for broadcasting companies and historical institutions to work together to benefit one another and the general public in more ways than one.
Okay, questions, judges?
I got a question. So you're saying this is something good that you could do because of the pandemic. What would your target audience be then for this area? I mean, I don't know if a lot of museums are actually closed or like, are people still able to go to them? Or I guess who's your target audience for this?
So the target audience on the televisions would be primarily families. But then concerning the museums, a lot of them are closed, whether that's because there are few staff members. If one of them gets sick, then the whole facility closes down. So lots of museums across the state are closed or are not able to open up to the general public at this time. So there is a need for this.
Austin, this is Tanya. Have you taken a look at your projections and looked at, really what your cost of goods would be with this? For instance, I think there's a significant amount of travel and time that would be needed for this, as well as some production and marketing. Have you looked at essentially the cost of goods in your financial projections for this?
Yes, so there will be production costs and travel costs as well. However, I have a good relationship with museums across the state and also the Nebraska Historical Society. And so by coordinating with them, the intention is to hit the museums that wish to participate all in one swing. So that way we can keep the travel costs down.
Austin, I have a question in terms of forecasting, then also just measuring success? How would you do that? Like, is it by audience, or, I mean, is there any kind of financial or like revenue streams that you can create?
Yeah, so to measure success, we would look on the museum side of things, we would look at increased attention in the media, more followers on social media perhaps, and increased attendance in person or donations, museum memberships. So that's on the museum side of things. And then on the broadcasting side of things, if viewers continue to go up as these clips are broadcasted, and then once the clips are made available for public use, we can measure how many people implement those in their classrooms or use them at home.
Okay, that is next contestant is, are you ready? What if I just froze and you didn't know? No, I'm just kidding. Jose.
Before I start, you can hear me, right? Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Do me a quick favor and just use your imagination for a second. You're in a scenario where you need to reach down for your phone in your pocket to make an important phone call. And as you reach down to your pocket, you don't feel your phone. And then you have a mini heart attack. You check your other pocket, still nothing. And you also realize you lost your set of keys, and you realize that you don't know where these belongings are at. Well, lucky for you, after today, those types of situations can easily go away with my invention. My name is Jose Perez. I'm a senior at UNK, and I'm the proud founder and creator of the pocket cover. And with this invention of mine, it covers any types of pockets on any types of clothing. And it just has two easy detachable sides. One of them sticks to your piece of clothing, and the other works as a powerful magnet that you can easily take on and off. And you don't have to tailor it to your clothes. You can easily stick it onto the fabric and take it off. And I do think this is a very important issue to handle, since people continue to lose their belongings for different reasons. According to an article from the New York Daily in 2015, Americans lose an average of around $5,000 over a lifetime from losing their items. A survey was done over 1,000 people, and most of them lose their jewelry and electronics as well. And according to another article from The Atlantic in 2019, more than 2,100 people that live in America are victims of pickpocketing crimes. And judges, there's no doubt in my mind that after today, you're going to choose an awesome invention that can really help people in the Carney community and beyond. And I believe the pocket cover easily classifies in that scenario. Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and get some questions.
Boy, can you tell us a little bit more about the product itself? You mentioned it sticks to fabric and you mentioned a magnet. Can you elaborate?
Yes, I can. Thanks for asking. So yeah, like I said, it can stick on any types of clothing. So whether that's like on a shirt, like the one I'm wearing, on khakis, gym shorts, anything like that, it would easily work. And on one side of the pocket cover, it would just have like a sticky side that you can easily put like on your piece of clothing, so it won't really fall out. And the other side just acts as a magnet, a really powerful magnet that you can easily take out when you do have to put things in your pocket.
Okay. Would the magnet interfere with like phones or credit cards or anything?
No, so it would just cover like the top portion of the pocket, so it really wouldn't mess with like any connections or anything.
Thanks.
Jose, this is Tanya. Great idea. What is your plan for production to get this product, essentially made? Maybe some trial runs, and just to really figure out what your cost of goods is going to be for this product.
Yeah, so I thought about this before, and I do think it's a good idea to start off in the Kearney community with this product. I feel like Kearney is a big enough city where people would be invested in these types of products. I do have a few friends that I've talked about it, which would help me assuming that we have enough resources to make the pocket cover. And our goal is to basically try to promote it in like retail stores, so people have a good idea of, you know, what type of things they can add to their clothing.
So in terms of production, is your plan to produce the item in-house, or are you anticipating, what's your plan for production, for actually producing the product?
Yeah, so it'd probably start like next semester when I have more time, because I'll be graduating soon. And yeah, like like you mentioned, we would have trials like probably for the first few months, because it is important to find some like sticky materials that not only sticks to the clothing, but also doesn't leave like too many like stains or anything, because it's important that the clothings that people use don't have it ruined due to the pocket cover.
Hey, do we have one last question? Quick question.
Jose, for like, will you be able to see this item? Like, will it be like, can you kind of tie it into like some kind of a new trend or fashion thing, or is it kind of a hidden benefit?
That's a really good question, Dustin. Thanks for asking. So the idea is for it not to really be invisible, but I do agree that fashion is something that people take seriously. So my idea with the pocket cover is that it comes in a variety of main colors like red, blue. That way it does draw attention, but at the same time, it looks good on like the piece of clothing that people are using.
Okay. Next contestant who is up is, you guys hear that? My drum roll. It is Daniel.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Awesome. All right, I'm gonna jump right into it. So my name is Daniel Zavadil. I'm a student here at UNK. So I want to start with a quick story. My grandpa lives in an assisted living facility, and there's this calendar next to his door, and the calendar has the same exact activities listed day after day. I'm like, this would be so boring. Like, is there any creativity when it comes to like programming events for these guys? So this pitch will investigate the idea of making the calendars found in long-term care facilities more colorful and more fun. So let's look into the problem here. So care facilities are not in the business of keeping residents entertained. Their focus lies on keeping residents maintained. Boredom and loneliness are a common feeling experienced among senior citizens, and those negative emotions can be life-declining if never addressed. So according to the CDC, 43% of surveyed older adults feel lonely, and boredom just compounds this problem. In other words, we want to help mitigate boredom. So what do we do exactly? We specialize in providing creative programming services for long-term care facilities. We believe that if we can help keep seniors active, creative, social, and continuously trying new things, we may be able to significantly boost the overall well-being of this population. We have two divisions, including an in-house entertainment service and a field trip entertainment service. Our in-house service brings in and facilitates activities inside the care facility, while our field trip service division takes clients to new places around town, similar to how an elementary school takes kids on field trips. So who's our customer? As of 2016, there are over 65,000 paid regulated long-term care service facilities in the United States. We primarily work with long-term care facilities and special needs organizations. We aim to establish working relationships with these groups and to satisfy the residents' entertainment needs. So in conclusion, our customers have finite time remaining. Please join us in helping us bring new fulfilling experiences to those who need them most. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Judges, you're up.
I'm curious how you would, what would be your charging structure? Would you charge the long-term care facility by the number of people who used it, or like a flat fee, or like what's your cost structure idea?
Yeah, so it'd be a contract structure, or it would be like a single time use charge. The costs without having any sort of entertainment included in the field trips is around like $35 to $40 a head. So we would need to charge somewhere above that threshold. But overall, our revenue streams would come from just memberships where we do weekly programming activities or monthly programming activities, or single use services. And then also I'd like to get into the franchising thing, where we would sell school buses that have the capability to load and unload a good amount of seniors in a fast amount of time, and sell these different things to our franchisees. But I'm not going to get too deep into the different revenues.
All right, thank you.
I've got a question. What's up, man? So I guess if you were going to win this contest and get the $1,000 for it, first place, what would you be able to do with that? And then also, like, how would you scale up this type of business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think testing is very important. And the first thing I would do is I would just make phone calls, a ton of phone calls to different assisted living facilities, and trying to see if there's any interest in this sort of service. And then also I would like to do some beta rounds and some testing. I would like to go and actually take some of these people on different field trip experiences. And I would start with a small number of people, and I would try to continue to raise the amount of people per trip and see how it goes, and measure the reactions of our clients and see how well they enjoy it, and survey them to see if they're satisfied and such. So start small and work my way up from there.
Joy and Daniel, do you have a team or anyone who would help you with this?
I have no team. I used to be a CNA, so I have a little bit of experience working in the assisted care facility environments and industry. So, but I'm pretty good at assembling people and bringing people together. So I don't think it would be much of a problem if I was serious about starting this up. So that's a good question.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. Go ahead, quick.
Sorry, just really quick. Have you thought about, like, in terms of the costing or the cost and pricing model, if you contracted with the facility in its entirety, like what percent of residents would not choose to participate, and how would that factor in, to your bottom line?
Yeah, obviously not every single resident of these facilities are going to be interested in participating. So we would, mostly work with the facilities that could get enough clients on our buses per trip. So, but there's all sorts of different levels of issues with this group. So obviously we wouldn't be able to take every single person on board, but yeah, I've considered that.
Okay, we are going to move on to our next contestant. So Jordan, you are up.
How many of you find it stressful to pick out the perfect gift for your family and friends? Hello, my name is Jordan Schnell, and I'm the founder of Gifted, a gifting service that helps connect consumers with the perfect gifts for their loved ones. I've always enjoyed gift shopping, but many people find this process both stressful and frustrating. For instance, Rakuten, a Japanese online retailer, found that the average Christmas shopper spends 14 hours searching for Christmas gifts. This frustration is compounded when this time spent is paired with the recipient who doesn't appreciate the gift they received. Gifted changes all of that. Consumers will fill out a simple form about the recipient for whom they wish to find the gift for. If they know the recipient super well, they can fill out the form extensively and receive a very tailored gift. However, even if they just know a couple facts about that person, they can still insert those into the forum and receive a tailored gift that person will appreciate. Once this form is completed, Gifted's programming will search through in-stock products of participating businesses to find the perfect gift suited for that recipient. The customer will then receive these options and be able to choose which gift they wish to give and learn where and how to purchase that. If I win the $1,000, I'll use it towards my college education, which in turn will help me stay out of debt and be successful in my future professional endeavors. By voting for me, you're voting for a contestant who works hard to achieve her goals and wants to use that same passion to better the lives of others. Gifted eliminates the stress associated with gift buying by finding you the perfect gifts to show your loved ones just how much you care. Thank you.
All right. Do you guys believe we're halfway done? So that's exciting. So judges, it's up to you now. 3 minutes for questions.
So if I were to use Gifted, what would I pay to basically have you do the shopping for me?
Absolutely. To connect you with the gift, you could either pay a one-time fee of $9.95, or you could subscribe for a yearly subscription of $89.95, and that would be for unlimited people and an unlimited amount of gifts.
Oh, so I give you information, then you give me 3 options, and then I choose which option, and then do I have to go out there and actually buy that, or do you go out and buy that and then just mail it to me, or?
Absolutely. So to cut down on cost, the idea would be I would link you to the website for how to purchase it, and hopefully we would be able to make some connections with them in order to maybe get free shipping or a certain percentage off, but you would go directly through them.
Other questions?
Jordan, this is Tanya. I think this is a great idea. It's kind of along the lines of like Stitch Fix and some of those other, niche services that, bring the product to the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered partnering with local small businesses in terms of how you can support local economy?
Definitely. Definitely. That's one of the things I'm really excited about this business model is I'd hope to be able to partner with local businesses and we could help each other grow. And so it would be able to bring to light these special, unique talents that people have and then be able to put that out there for many other people to be able to experience.
Any other questions?
What do you see as your biggest challenge with this business idea?
Currently, I would say just developing the algorithm in order to search through the products of all participating businesses. I have a background in technology, so I'm confident I would come to a solution with that, but just working out all the kinks and also the legal side of coming up with contracts in order to relate to the other businesses would probably be the biggest challenge right now.
To our next contestant. So I am just so impressed. These pitches are so polished and you guys are all perfect with your time, doing so good. So we are going to go ahead and move on to the next contestant, which is Connor.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me? Sweet. My name's Connor Fee. I'm a junior here at UNK, and today I just wanted to tell you about a business idea that I have here for Kearney, Nebraska. So growing up, taking out the trash had been the most disgusting job. Trash cans are obviously gross, they smell, and they're full of lots of germs. Salmonella and E. coli thrive inside of them, and they kill tens of thousands of Americans each year. Nobody wants to clean trash cans, and that is my solution. Now, you're probably looking at me like, cleaning out trash cans, who wants to do that? It sounds pretty silly, but let me tell you, there's a lot of potential business here. If you look at Omaha, there's several companies that clean out trash cans, and then if you look at Lincoln, there's one company that I know of that cleans them out, and there's none west of Lincoln, though. If you look at households in Kearney, there's about 13,000 households, and you got to figure there's got to be at least 1 to 2 trash cans per household. And I don't care how rich or poor you are, everybody has a trash can on the front of their driveway, and nobody wants to touch them. It's a problem now with the coronavirus going on. Everybody's wiping everything off and throwing everything out. They're being very cautious. They end up in the trash cans and nobody cleans them. And then you got trash guys coming every week. They're touching them. They're going different places and they're spreading, and it's a lot of germs. Regardless of this, even if you're not looking at the coronavirus, you look at in the summer when people are mowing and they're throwing all their yard waste, grass, all that nasty gunk ends up in trash cans. And, I've had experience this past summer working with a friend, and we got subcontracted to clean them out. It doesn't take very long. On average, it took me about 7 minutes to clean out a trash can. Most companies charge about $35 to $45 for cleaning. And, this is something I'm looking to start this summer and spring and potentially fall. All you need is a pressure washer, and I need funding to do that. And, I think this scholarship would help greatly for that. So thank you.
Judges, you're up.
All right, I got a
You mentioned
question.
a price point of $35. Is that like a monthly fee, or what is that based on?
$35 it would be like a one-time cleaning. So say somebody wants to clean the trash can just once, you'd probably charge about 35 to 40. And then there's also monthly cleaning. So like it'd be a little bit cheaper. It'd probably be around $10 a month. You'd come monthly and clean the trash can.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, I've got a question. So would this just be for like residential places, or would you do like, I don't know, businesses downtown, like in the alleys where they got the giant dumpsters? I know some of those are pretty nasty.
Yeah, so great question. Primarily I would target businesses. To get into a contract with a company would be great. Obviously, they would have a lot more trash cans than a residential house, and it'd be consistent pay. And then dumpsters as well. I've researched that. A lot of trash can companies, they will clean out dumpster pads, and you can get like $150 per pad. So I mean, you can make good money doing it.
Connor, it's Joy again. Would you think about partnering with any trash collection companies that are already in existence, or would you want to do this completely on your own? What's your thought about that?
So in Kearney, there isn't any other trash can cleaning companies. I could potentially see myself partnering with like the waste management companies here that take out the trash, and they take them every week. And it would honestly be probably really beneficial, because the only day that's really safe to do it is when you come. You'd go every Monday when they take the trash, and then you would clean it, because you don't want to clean it on like a Wednesday when it's filled up with trash. So I think partnering would be great. You could get on a schedule.
Right. Okay.
Other questions?
This is Tanya. So essentially your startup costs for this would be a power washer and a pickup. Is that kind of what? I mean,
so
very minimal startup costs, right?
Yeah. So you'd want to get a pretty solid power washer, probably at least 3,500 PSI, and that's about standard. It probably costs about like $400 to $500. You obviously need a truck. I know larger companies, they have dump trucks, and rigged to the dump truck, they have like a machine, and it grabs the trash cans and actually dumps them in like a water solution with soap, and it like bleaches it. But for me, starting up, a truck and a power washer would be very essential.
Okay. And I think that concludes our time. And our next contestant there's only a few of you left, so you know you're coming up, right? So Ryan, it is your turn.
Hey, can you hear me? Perfect. Hey everybody, I'm excited to be here today. My name is Ryan Ostransky, and my big idea is for Getter stickers. So these stickers would be clear silicone stickers with a small tracking chip in them. This could be used on remotes, keys, wallets, anything that you worry you might lose or that you lose often. These would be perfect for that. These could connect either through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and they could even incorporate a small little speaker so that you could ping the lost item. I think this would be perfect for somebody that has an older family member that they either lose something very easily or they forget where they put it. And then either that family member could ping it or a different family member could, and it would help them find their lost items very simply, and it'd make it very quick for them to find these. I think another great use would be, for me, myself, I know in many other students, they're always in and out the door, back and forth, and just kind of tossing things as they go, trying to get in and out. And so you easily misplace things. And I think this would take a lot of stress along with just time that you don't really have looking for things out of the question there. I believe it was Jose that said that Americans lose over $5,000 of their personal property within a lifetime. So these kind of would lower that, I think, dramatically, and it would be very helpful for about every American, that means. So I'd like to thank you guys one more time for you coming and listening to me today, and thank you. Vote for Ryan. Thanks.
And questions?
Ryan, would these be hooked up to like some kind of an app that you would download, then you would ping these stickers that you put on your phone and your keys and everything? So like, so it pulls up kind of like a geocaching kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. That was my idea, would be like develop an app that you could connect with like a specific serial number for each tracker sticker. That way it could track that sticker for you.
What happens if you lose your phone, which has the app on it?
I think that you could use any sticker. If you have the sticker, you could touch the phone to it with a different phone, and you could use that. Maybe you could link the sticker back to the phone and make that ping it too.
Cool. Thank you.
More questions?
Yeah, I've got one. So have you done any sort of like design for what these would look like, or any look into manufacturing them, something like that?
So I've looked at like things I could use as the sticker, and I found these like little circular pads that were made out of silicone. They were squishy and see-through. And I thought that I could probably match with a manufacturer who sells similar items and have them add the tracking chip if I found one, or when I find the one that I would prefer for this, and have them like make that product and ship it to me. So I could do it like that. So it'd be very small kind of and clear, so you wouldn't really notice it on many things.
Other questions?
Brian, this is Tanya. What do you see as being your biggest obstacle with this startup?
I think the biggest obstacle at the beginning would be more of the app designing, but I think on campus here, especially, I have a lot of resources and even off campus that would help me with that and kind of guide me in the right direction with that, or even a person who could help me develop that. And then after that, it would just be talking to manufacturing and trying to find the lowest cost really of somebody who could manufacture these stickers themselves and make them be able to connect to the app. So it'd be a lot of research and development.
Hi, this is Joy. Have you researched your competition? I don't know if there is any competition in this space.
There's like I think it's Tile is something kind of close to that. It's like a keychain, so you connect it to your keys or like to stuff like that, but it's more like a square device and a keychain. And I know you can like click that and it'll like ping back and forth from your phone to your whatever device it's on. So I saw that, but this is more like for everyday items and not just like your keys.
Thanks.
Any other questions out there? Move on to our third to the last contestant. So Emma, are you ready? Because the stage is yours. Unmute.
Hello, everybody. I'm Emma Osowski, creator of SolHealth. I'm a student here at UNK working towards my degree in business administration with a minor in health science. I have a passion for innovation, health, and fashion, so I decided to create my business based on those three concepts. SolHealth started as an idea to innovate tan through swimwear into a fashion statement for women ages 18 to 45. This is a swimwear line that has a special fabric designed to allow the sun to reach your skin underneath the suit. But before I get into any details, let me start by asking you a question. Has anyone in your life been affected by breast cancer? Studies show that 1 out of every 8 women are likely to develop breast cancer in their lifetime. That could be your wife, your sister, your mother, your daughter, your best friend. What a terrible thing for anyone to encounter. But what if I told you that they have the opportunity to reduce their risk by half? Any woman is able to use this preventative measure for free. Yeah, I said that, free. The sun is available 12 hours a day, 365 days a year. And the studies show that direct sunlight to your breast is what can reduce your risk up to 50%. So why isn't everyone outside reducing their risk? Well, because in most places, tanning without a top is illegal and your neighbor's probably watching you through their blinds. So SolHealth is creating a tan through swimwear line so you're able to get direct sunlight to your breast without the worries of your neighbors lining up outside your yard. You can wear this tan through swimwear line at the beach, doing yard work, hanging out with your family at the pool. It just looks like a regular swimsuit. SolHealth is prioritizing keeping you looking trendy and fashionable as well as healthy. I'm eager to get women my age into this swimsuit so we can lower the amount of breast cancer diagnosis around the world. Winning this competition would mean I would have the funds to actively start making prototypes. That's why I'm asking for your vote to help me achieve these goals that I've set for myself and my business. Thank you.
Okay, judges.
I'm curious if you can talk at all about your competition.
There's actually 2 big tan through swimwear lines that are currently in the market, but the purpose of my business is to innovate their swimsuit line to give them a new style and a new design, because after doing customer discoveries, I've noticed that customers aren't happy with the style and the design, and that's their main problem right now.
All right, I guess I've got a question. Okay, so you said winning this money would help you go forward with, is that what it'd go to, is towards your design and towards the style that you'd be changing up then compared to the competitors?
Yeah, great question. I'll actually start prototyping so I can start visiting textile manufacturers to get them the fabric that I need and show them what I need so I can get that going.
So you already have like your own kind of design then, or at least you know what you're going to do with the prototype?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea of the style and the designs that I want to do. It's just really moving forward with that and getting the funds to move forward with that.
Would you sell these directly to customers, or would you work with big box retailers and sell through that way? Or
I think there's a bigger profit just selling by yourself and doing a website and getting my website out there and get it known to my target audience that I have this available on my website, and it'll make it better just for profit wise. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a team for that, or are you working alone on this?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
Do you have a team, or are you working alone on this project?
I'm sort of have a mentor right now, but I'm working solo right now, and maybe in the future I would get a partner if it grows that big.
Emma, this is Tanya. Do you have a figure in mind that you would need in order to start production for, actually generating some sales?
Just starting with the textile company, I'm actually trying to go there like sometime within the month to see and talk to a director of that to see what the cost would be.
Emma, it's Joy again. What's your biggest challenge right now?
I think right now is just kind of time and making a priority to get this done. And I really want to get this done by next summer so I can start getting prototypes and getting it out there for people to start using. And so I think just timing is really hard right now, especially being a full-time student.
Emma, have you done any kind of market research to see what the demand actually looks like?
Yeah, so I'm actually in a program at Lincoln right now called Customer Discovery, and I've conducted over 15 interviews, and I've talked to a few other girls that I just know that like swimsuits, and they've told me what they've wanted. I've talked to previous owners of tan through swimwear lines, and they've given me their input on what they would fix and what problems they would solve. So I think that put a lot of insight for me and how I can make this better for them.
Okay, down to the last two. And Caroline, you're up.
Can you guys hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna fix the camera really quick. Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Carolyn Zamora. I'm a first-year student here at UNK, and I'm excited to be here to share my idea with you. According to the National Center of Education Statistics, nearly 19.9 million people are enrolled in college in the United States. Many of these students face countless struggles throughout their college careers. Three of the most common struggles among these students include managing time effectively, maintaining a healthy routine, and staying organized. Luckily for all of them, I've come up with a brilliant solution to these issues. My solution is a planner called Surviving College 101. This planner would be available both online or as a physical copy, depending on the preference of the buyer. The planner would include beneficial tips on studying, as well as mental health resources and fun activities to increase their engagement. This planner would also include fun themes based upon the holidays and seasons, making it even more unique and interesting for my users. If I win the $1,000 award, I would use the money to further my research on the needs of college students and perhaps even begin designing my planner. I hope that as you vote today, you consider the impactful benefit of my product, and it will intrigue you to choose my product. Thank you so much for your time.
3 minutes, judges.
This is Tanya. Do you have your design and template put together in terms of how the planner would look and just the functionality of it?
I actually have not started developing the design. This is an idea I actually recently came up with for this competition. And the reason why it would be amazing to win this is because I would use the money to invest in a software where I can develop an efficient design. I've looked into certain softwares that I could use, and Adobe would be a great one. And it has a pretty expensive subscription. So it would be amazing to win this competition and use that to start developing my design for the planner.
This is Tanya again. Have you looked into printing costs? Do you know how many sheets you would be, printing per planner? Do you understand? Do you have any of those figures yet?
I think I would like to start it as an online planner in the beginning, just because I would want more people to be able to access this planner due to the current pandemic, not being able to go to the store, or if I had a physical store, I think it made more sense to do it online. So I don't think it would be as a bigger problem how many pages I would need. And I would get eventually to that once I decided to make it as a physical copy.
Judges?
Can you tell us what makes your product unique, Carolyn, versus people just buying a planner and then Googling ideas about mental health? Like, what is it about yours bringing these things together that makes it unique?
Thanks for your question. So my product would be unique, or my planner, because I would be able to partner with local businesses that are kind of like mental health resources and just bringing awareness to this issue. It's been a big issue in this year with mental health. People aren't really expressive about it. So I guess I would bring more awareness. I would be providing actual resources and It would not be just a basic planner, which is just an outline of the month, outline of the days where you just write things in, but it would actually provide beneficial resources for people, verified resources for people, local resources for people, and just actual access to these resources.
Carolyn, I'm wondering if you partner up with these outside resources, if you've thought about what kind of pricing model that you would have, if consumers or if users would pay for it, or if it would be a free service and then you generate revenue through those external partnerships.
So thanks for the question. And to answer that, I think with the partnerships toward the beginning of my release of the product, it would be free partnerships and the revenue would come from those who purchased the actual planner. I just really would my goal overall for this is for people to be able to access these resources and be aware of them. So toward the beginning, I feel that I would like to do the partnerships as a free thing and just bring kind of advertising to that resource and myself through the partnership. And then after a while, if the planner actually was successful and gained more popularity, perhaps I could do more of paid partnerships.
Okay, that wraps. Last but not least, we have Hayden, you're up.
Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Hi, my name is Hayden Nelson, and I'd like to introduce you to the field of competitive disc golf. What may have been a leisurely pastime before has quickly grown into one of the fastest growing sports in the world. In fact, Pro Disc Golf Association memberships have more than tripled in the last 10 years alone, with a large college-age demographic. The USDGC is being aired on ESPN, the first televised major of the sport. Along with the sport being a suggested pastime during the COVID-19 pandemic by the CDC, there is a huge new market for disc golf distribution. And with Kearney being the site of the #1 rated course in Nebraska, that being Cotton Mill Park, an active location for distribution is begging to be founded. In terms of the Nebraska disc golf scene, there is only one store in the state that caters solely to disc golf sporting goods, that being the Disc Store in Omaha. Other stores near Kearney, such as Play It Again Sports, Game On, and Dick's, offer some options but are extremely limited. For competitive players like myself, the ideal store would carry household brands such as Innova, Dynamic Discs, and Discraft, along with other large companies such as Discmania, Prodigy, and MVP. The most important factor to consider is that there are currently 500 active members in the central Nebraska disc golf scene. After talking with several members of the community, a typical player will spend $50 a month on the sport. This means that Kearney is losing $25,000 in sales monthly or $300,000 annually to outside distributors. These funds could be going towards course maintenance and setting up tournaments here in Kearney. So I ask you all, will you take the shot?
And questions for Hayden, our last contestant.
Hayden, this is Tanya. I like the fact that you brought solid figures to your presentation. Thank you for that. Where did the 500, is there an actual membership directory that individuals have to pay into? Or can you give me a little bit of background on that directory?
Absolutely. I'm part of several Facebook groups that have member listings among the Grand Island area, the Hastings area, and the Kearney area. I kind of consolidated all those numbers since members seem to travel back and forth pretty frequently between the towns.
Other questions?
When you talked about the typical player spending $50 a month, is that on the actual discs and goods, or does that have to do with other costs?
So I would say the majority of the cost would go towards discs because I'll be real, I tend to lose too many discs to water. But this also kind of averages out with tournament fees being about $10 for any recreational division, and then going up from there.
Other questions?
So Hayden, would this be brick and mortar? And then I also have to ask, how would you compete with Amazon?
Well, I guess the main benefit for an in-person disc golf shop as opposed to something like Amazon is that we specifically cater to disc golf needs. And it's largely a factor that I like to call feel in the hand. For a player like myself, how a disc feels in my hand is extremely important to how I perform on the course. And so that's the main advantage that we hold over online suppliers.
And what would be your next step if you won this money?
Well, I guess my next step would be contacting some of the local members in the Kearney community, as there have been scouts out for setting up such a shop in Kearney before, but there's been no one to act on it. That would be my first step. The next step would likely be gathering resources in order to have full shelves in order to sell to the community.
Other questions from our judges?
Yeah, I got a question. So you said there was other, like in Omaha, there's this disc golf specific store?
Yep, it's aptly named the Disc Store.
Okay. And so I guess kind of going off the last question about if you're going to go forward with this, winning some money, how big would this be for something like, here in Kearney? Is just like a big building that's exclusive to discs, or something mobile, or what are you thinking?
Absolutely. I guess what I have in mind, it would likely be best to start off with something mobile, like a kiosk over in the mall here in town. But eventually I would see it growing toward we actually have full walls of a aptly sized shop.
Okay. This is, by the way, probably my favorite thing that I get to do in this job. So I'm so excited to announce your third place Big Idea UNK winner for $250 is Hayden Nelson with the Disc Golf Sporting Goods Store. Yay. All right. And your second prize winner, $500 from New Tech Ventures, goes to Emily with Around the Table. Woo! Okay, are you guys ready for your first prize winner?
I'm ready.
All right. Awesome. So your first prize winner goes to, and I think they're going to actually show you the poll here so you guys can see who that is. And it goes to Emma with SolHealth Lifestyles. Woohoo!